This is 2025, the first Supercross race of the season. And right here is where the hole shot is gonna come from. I just am betting money because I'm a betting man that it's gonna come from these 4 gates to the box. And if you look down there, we've got maybe, I would say 300 yards, that might be 900 feet. And a lot of guys are going to be coming in hot. I don't expect the hole shot to come from the outside. So come on, AJ, let's look at this. You know, finally I got somebody that knows what he's doing with the camera, because we don't have me with my vertigo happening. This right here, I really think a lot of riders are going to end up rolling and then doubling, and they're going to be doubling from the side, at least on the start. So you'll see riders coming off here to defend this inside here. And we've got a massive, cool looking Honda round tough block here, which is good to see. From the corner, once you start, is a pretty big triple. This is something that's going to scare most vet riders. These guys are not going to be slowing down. Maybe the first lap they'll come in here at, what is that, 60 degrees to cover their line, and they'll be using their brakes. But afterwards, I suspect these guys doing the triple in, they're not going to be hitting their brakes at all. They might just a brief little land sitting down, and then coasting around and accelerating around the mid point of the Rocky Mountain MC tough block here. To this guy is going to be a scrub double into the massive triple. Hey, we got something in here. What is this? Is this some Cat 5 cable? Looks like maybe some Cat 5 cable. You know, it is a simulation out here, so you might, this might not be real. But these suckers, pretty cool how they design these, because if you've watched any of my track videos, you'll know that you have a 1 to 3 ratio. As far as if it's a 3-foot lip, you'll have 9 feet down. Sometimes you can do a 1 to 2, but they've got it flat out here so that it's not going to get pushed out and not have some big ruts. Big triple, and I truthfully think that guys are going to be trying to flat track around on the inside. So this guy, I perceive you'll also see guys landing sitting down, and we probably won't get a lot of braking bumps because they're going to be accelerating, coasting, especially on the outside here. But this guy, I would like this to move over a little bit, because you're going to dive right in here. They can't triple out. So truthfully, you probably will end up going double from the one side. And there's a big hit from the triple on the outside. However, dude, this is probably the size of a pickup truck from the corner to this tiny lip. So to try to triple on top of that is going to be very difficult. I think either inside or outside, the guys are going to just double. So I know previously the virtual track walk that I did, I was saying that there was a couple big quad hits here, but after seeing the lip real hand, maybe we'll see somebody like a Jet triple on top of this, because this guy is much taller. It's twice as tall as the lip is. So you'd land and then triple again. This is where I thought you might be able to quad, but not gonna happen, not gonna happen. We're gonna see probably triple all the way down. So that triple is gonna land on the lip of the tall one here. So let me just run, get quick, up to pace. So the guys will land here, and then they'll come off this one, because this one's pretty much built to be a launch. Again, triple, a double here. And the dirt here, I expect it to get dusty. We probably won't see a lot of ruts, maybe in the middle of the transitions here, but the Dirtworks guys are doing an amazing job of keeping the track prepped. But this stuff is filled with little rocks in there. You know, there's a bunch of little rocks just constantly in here, which you do not want to get hit by this sucker. You see all the rocks, that's gonna break your nose right there, right? And so truthfully, not the best dirt, but we love A1. And yeah, it is just finishing off with a double here. And the next little section is probably the section that I would build at my house for the pit bike track, because it looks very forgiving. It's not something you normally see on a Supercross track. This tough block is right here. If it stays here, you'll see guys potentially maybe hitting it, but they're going to either wheelie over this. You could see guys just bring up their front end, because they're going to be geared so low that all they're going to have to do is crack the throttle to wheelie on top of this. And I don't really see anybody jumping on top and jumping off, because if you come here, you can see there is zero lip off this guy. So almost impossible, but never say impossible when there's guys like Jet and Deegan out there, because they tend to do stuff that's out of this world. But there is no effing lip here. So realistically, you'll see guys just kind of jump over this. And this looks like a scary triple into the corner too, because again, you're going from a small lip that's probably 4 feet to a middle one that's 8 feet to back to a 4-foot one. So the 250s, I suspect, are going to have a little bit difficulty trying to seat bounce and triple in here, but that is definitely the line. And like I said, I will probably be put to shame by all the viewers after we let these guys go WFO on the track, because they might actually jump on top of this by just a quick little bounce preload on this. But I do think that's going to be the slower of everything, because then you have to jump into a double here off this tall lip, which is going to be a bummer. But again, we have the 180-degree corner, which is 90 degrees, pretty vertical. So once they land there, you won't see guys pretty much braking at all. It'll just be like acceleration. We'll see the Deegan cornering ability where he just lays it flat. But the dirt is much wetter on this side of the track, so you probably will see some ruts. And again, because of how fast this is going to be, the riders coming in here, I suspect if they've got nobody in front of them, they're going to use all of the track. They're going to use all the area available to them. If they're trying to make a pass, they'll come in here. But as far as qualifying goes and the fast laps, you're going to see these guys just railing the corner. As far as racing goes, you'll see guys come in and take the inside. And when they do that, they'll end up rolling this and then jumping over. But the fast line is going to be rail the outside, step on, step off, and we'll see what they do over here. But maybe, this looks big. I know the track map, the Yamaha little, what is it? What is that guy? He's the ribbon. He was jumping into the middle here, and that's a pretty big double there, but I could see that happening too. I do think that the step-on, step-offs are much faster when you can just get on and off rather than anytime you jump over, but they will probably jump across the start here with the double, just how it's set up, because if you go over here, then you end up having to jump over one of these tabletops anyway. So it's pick your pain. Do you do it at the beginning of the section or at the end of the section? And if I had to choose, I would want to carry my speed at the end of the section rather than the beginning of the section. So we're coming across the start here, relatively fairly forgiving double. I like how the track designers are utilizing the entire circumference of this arena. This is actually a really cool track design. Minus, I wish we had at least 2 more whoops. Just give me 2 more whoops, right? So that, you know, my butthole could pucker, because I'd be on the seat of my pants, because, you know, we do know Supercross is now enabling people to bet. By the way, $20, and you could make $2,000 if you bet on Hunt, which I would love to do that. However, that's not financial advice. Just saying, it's an interesting concept now that we have for Supercross. But as I digress, at the end of the section, the step on, step off is going to be faster than doing it from the beginning. So just picture, if you don't have enough speed to quad into here, which we'll see some guys, if they do quad, they're going to land sitting down and landing on the inside so that they can rail the outside. But we'll see probably most of the 250 guys go step on, step off at the end of this, unless, like I said, from the beginning of the section that you didn't jump over, then you will just jump and land and then have to do a little weird triple here as far as jump off the tabletop here. But this, it's going to be hard if you make a pass on somebody on the inside, which I don't suspect seeing a lot of guys making that pass, because of the fact that you're going to come in here and you're not going to be able to jump this because you need to have the run in. And even in first gear at altitude, you probably could do it, but you'd have to have major cojones to do it. And this just doesn't do it justice. Just so you know, I'm a 7-foot tall, 250-pound male, and I'm barely having my head over this. And for anybody that actually believes that, I am sorry. But this guy is scary to try to seat bounce. I see there's a hole already forming here as far as one of those little itty-bitty hip ruts here. But you've got a gnarly big finish line jump into an acceleration corner. So after you nail the finish line in first gear wide open with your eyes closed, you're gonna land and you're just gonna keep it WFO. This is probably the least tall, am I saying that right? This is the smallest berm on the entire track, but it's the longest 180. So what I don't wanna see is I don't wanna see guys come in here unless they're trying to Vince freeze somebody, which is why they've got the infamous Steve Mathis net here, which that is always a good idea. I personally would maybe like to see it all the way around here because this is covering the riders that come off. However, you want to see that net all the way around because if you have somebody that comes in and just cleans somebody out, but if they do that, they're not going to be able to come through the whoops. Do you need to get over here?
Yeah, they wanted us to change a bunch of these monsters things around.
Cool. I don't want to be in your way. You just keep doing what you're doing.
Sorry,
And
guys.
no, dude. It's candid. You guys are the ones that are working hard. So, by the way, I'm around here and we've got a starter whoop where you'll see guys launch off of this. They're going to wheelie over this one and their front wheel is going to land on the third one. And these whoops look like they were built by a front end loader. They're not super big, but they are definitely about 8 feet across. And from here, you'll see guys accelerate hard into the sand section. We're just going to get the sand section. So at the end of the whoops, the entrance is going to dictate where you're going because it's really hard to start turning. You're going to turn briefly just by a few degrees as far as weighting one side of the peg will then push you over to the inside or outside. But this is definitely sand that you do not want to get in between your goggles, and it's going to slow the motorcycle down, especially with these few little lips here. You're going to want to leave the whoops with just as much speed as you entered them. And yeah, that's an oxymoron. You always want to go faster, but the more you have, the more it puts load on the motorcycle and the motor, and you end up slowing down. But I do see the inside coming into play here, but the outside is built up where it doesn't have as many little divots in it, so that riders will, I think it's a 50-50, but truthfully by the night show, I believe the inside is going to be the ticket. That is A1 Supercross track map. And make sure for more content, you like and subscribe and hit that notification icon. And everybody give up to AJ for my camera guy because we don't have the vertigo anymore. And I still believe that Cooper Webb is going to win A1. Let me know in the comments below.